Hello guys, welcome back to 2 kilowatt hitter. So today we're going to be building a 2000 watt 52 volt e-bike. This is a Trek Marlin 5 Gen 2. I've just had it serviced, that's why I've stripped the bike. I thought I'd make a video on how to rebuild one. So here we have the 2000 watt hub motor laced with Tektro hydraulic brakes and a Schwably 29-inch tyre. Here we have a twist throttle, thumb throttle, screen, and pedal assist sensor here. You're going to need a crank removal tool to move the cranks to fit the pedal assist sensor. And yeah, let's get down to the building. Okay, what you're gonna need to get is some spacers. So this nut, get the camera to focus. So when the hub motor goes into the rear wheel, this will slot facing outwards onto the bike, like so. Which then leaves a very clean fit, which means there's no movement in the hub motor. So, you need to load up here with a few spacers. So, let's get that going. Right, once you've loaded up your spacers, it should look like that. You will have to prise open the rear subframe of the bike. Don't pull too hard, especially if your bike is made out of aluminium. But a little rubber mallet will help to push the dropouts into the bike. Now, to get the hub motor in, I recommend loosening up your brake caliper so that there's more movement. And second of all, make sure that you haven't got too many spacers on, because otherwise you'll end up warping your rear subframe. Okay, so with one hand, lift up the chain, and with the other hand, place the chain back over the cassette or freewheel of your bike. You can hear mine just rotated, it's come off the crank, which is okay. Then, to prise open the rear of the bike just a little bit. Get the brake disc lined up. And drop it in. Okay, once that is now done. Alright guys and girls, so now we need to get a torque arm. This is custom for Trek bikes, so it fits right there and will line up with that nut. It doesn't look like it will, but if you push it to the side just a little bit, it lines up. So yeah, put the camera down for a second, I'll do that. Okay, so now I've got the torque arm installed. So rated for 3000 watts. It is, I call that about 5 mil thick. So it's definitely gonna keep me out of trouble with the hubs falling off. So yeah, I need new brake discs to be fair. But yeah, let's go. Once that you have got on your throttle, give it a little test. Make sure it's not moving when you fully turn it, which mine is not. See, this twist throttle's got a nice bit of action to it. It's not like an on and off switch. Now, what I do is I also run a thumb throttle. So if I want to ride one-handed, I still can. But I fit mine reversely, so like this. So to go forward, you push it backwards. Okay, so once I finish put on the thumb throttle, again, same thing with the throttle, make sure it works, make sure it's not twisting anything. See, it's got not as much range as the throttle does, but it's still helpful. And then next, we're going to mount the screen. Alright, so with the screen, I know this bike already has a fault on it because previously I tried to plug an external tuning device into the bike and it has disabled the speedo on the screen, so I know that is not going to work. But for the mounting, you can see that, get the camera to focus, you have some little bolts here at the back, which literally just screw into the handlebars, right, so let's get that installed. Okay guys, now the screen is all mounted. I've also mounted the control panels, so you have 1 to 9 pedal assist modes or throttle modes for off-road use only. So use plus button to go up, minus button to go down. There is also headlight switches. So you have a headlight switch, and there also should be an information switch, which will tell you how far you've gone, your average speed, your max speed, and other things like that. Now the next thing to install is the controller. So with this bike, you get a 40 amp sine wave controller. Let's get that right way around. So it's rated for 52 volts, 36 and 48 volts. So I'm gonna mount it here because this down tube on this bike is pretty tight. So it'd be a nice clean fit if I mount it right there. With the controller, I'm also going to mount it here because the down tube on this frame is quite tight because it's a medium large. I'm 5'10", so fit my size. Anyway, back to the point. You literally need 4 cable ties. You can probably see there's 4 holes to mount the cable ties with and cable tie it around the frame. I'm trying to keep it a very clean e-bike build. Don't want it to look too DIY, so trying to keep it all neat and tidy, but it's looking all right for now. Okay, so next, got to put the wiring harness to connect to the screen, throttle, pedal assist sensor. So let's install that. The wiring harness plugs straight into the controller right here. You literally just line up the 2 holes and push them in together, like so, and that's all in. Right, so now we're going to remove the crank. You need to get the crank removal tool, and you'll need an 8mm Allen key to remove the dust cover. So again, I'm doing it on a phone, so I'll film this off camera. Now, to remove the crank, you want to spin this all the way, nearly all the way, focus, 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 all the way to the end, and whack it in there and tighten it up. Make sure your pedal's flat so it can rotate. I know I've got a couple wires in the way, so let me push those away. Right, yeah, as I was saying, turn this a few times. And spin this into the crank. This does take quite a while to get to the right place, but as you can see, the cranks are now rotating, which means that the nut is locked into place. You still need to tighten this external bolt. Okay, right, now it's not moving anymore. So what we need to do is pull up. So we need to try and separate these, so not right on each other. Rotate the cranks around to make your life easier. Okay, there you go, rotate it. I'm gonna do this off camera again, make my life a lot easier. Then once you've gotten the crank off, take the pedal assist sensor, make sure you fit it with the wire facing towards the saddle on the bike, and it's as simple as sliding it on, like so. This will then read whenever the cranks rotate. It usually takes 3 rotations to kick in the pedal assist. And then you need to put back on the pedal. So now, what we want to do is remove the crank tool. When you have disconnected your crank from the crank removal tool, slide back on the crank. Make sure that you haven't got it the wrong way around. Make sure, obviously, the pedals are in the opposite position to the others. And then you should then grab your dust protector and put it on. Because what will happen is the dust protector will tighten back up the crank to make sure and ensure your crank does not fall off while you're riding. Okay, to make sure it's a bit tighter, hold the pedal at the same time. Once you've fitted your crank, what you now want to do, because this kit comes with Hygo connectors, it's a 3-pin. I can get the camera to focus. It's a 3-pin connector, which then just slots in. So it's not ring terminals on this conversion kit. So you then plug this into the main controller, like so. Once you've done this, you want to connect up all the connections to the bike. So let me do that now, and I'll cable tie them, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, I've gone and got myself a ECMF. I don't know why they don't call it a cable wrap. Make my life a lot easier, but that's what it's called. I'm gonna wrap up all the cables, make it look all nice and tidy. So let me do that. Right, so now I've got all the cables tidied up, looking all nice and neat, plugged everything in. Need to sort out this wiring at the front. I might cable tie it through here to keep it all nice and tidy. Let's try and turn it on. Okay, that's the keys. Press the on button. There we go, guys. Now it's gonna come up with an error, like I said, because speedo's not working. But yeah. So I've set mine up so I have 5 level assist modes. I usually ride number 2 because I can get up to 20 miles an hour off-road, obviously. No problem. And then, yeah. So what I'm now going to do, I'm going to turn it off, turn it on, and press and hold the up and down switches, which takes you into this menu here. So this lets you customize everything from if you want it in miles an hour, to your voltage of your battery, to the pedal assist levels. You can have 3, so if I click on the I, you can have 9, 3, or 5. Keep mine in 5. To the size of your wheel, which will give you a more accurate speed reading. To the amount of magnets which you have in your pedal assist sensor. To the top speed, I managed to set up 62 miles an hour. Obviously, it's a 2,000 watt bike, so you won't be able to hit 62 miles an hour on this thing anyway, but it's a theoretical top speed. You know, if you're going really steeply downhill or something silly like that, you might hit 62. Be very surprised if you did, but there you go. Realistically, you won't hit any more than 40 miles an hour off-road, obviously, like I said. But yeah, then this. So this setting here, 10p, sorry. Basically, what this does is you can have it as throttle only, pedal assist and throttle, or just pedal assist. So this will disable your throttle. So if you ever get caught riding, maybe by the police, God forbid, then that's the switch to press. You can change that up quickly. So it's pedal assist only, which makes it street legal. Then this is the screen brightness. So you have 1 to 5 levels. Put mine in 5. As to pedal assist levels. So this is for your controller. So if your controller is rated for 40 amps, you put 40 in here. If your controller is rated for 30 amps, 30. Mine's rated for 35 peak. So 45 peak. So I'll set mine to 45. Then password. Don't need that. I already have an alarm on my bike. And that's everything. So now let's click I and let's go for a quick test drive. Let's go for a little ride. Sorry the speedo isn't working. I know it's a bit impractical, but I'll try and say roughly how fast I'm going because I've had this bike for over a year, so I know what 20 miles an hour feels like, 30 and 40 if you can get up to that kind of speeds. So yeah, let's go. Get the tyres warm a little bit first though. Tyres are warm. Yeah, now I can kind of talk to you guys about the bike a little bit. So, as I was saying earlier, it's a 52 volt, 2000 watt kit from Kirby Bike. Their kits are great. Yeah, I need to get myself a new controller. There'll probably be a new installation video on that. I've hit 40 miles an hour on this bike. That was on a slight downhill. The only problem with these bikes is that obviously with no regen, the brakes after hitting 30 miles an hour, stopping slower and faster, your brakes do start to wear down a little bit, get a bit hot and smoky. But except for that, it's all good. As I was saying, so your brakes do get a bit hot and you start to experience brake fade, which is very, very annoying after a while. But yeah. And that is the end of today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you in the next one.